Anyone here like to drink their dessert? Well, stay with me because I'm about to teach you the definition of dessert wine and how to talk about it. Hello again, I'm Annie Shapiro, a certified sommelier. Welcome back to day 19. Today we have a super sweet episode dedicated to dessert wine. Today I brought a beautiful bottle of Passito, an Italian dessert wine. Have you ever had one of these? They come in all colors. Maybe you're one of those people who thinks they don't even like sweet wines. Well, prepare to have your mind blown. Let's get to it. In traditional Western fine dining, you have appetizers, first and second courses, and dessert. Wine has developed in the same way. Aperitif wines are light-bodied with a dry mineral finish designed to get your palate ready and your appetite roaring. Then, as you know, there is a whole spectrum of wine designed to pair with different kinds of food, from light and dry white wines to huge, robust red wines with a long finish. But what about dessert? There's a good chance you may not even be hungry for dessert, which may explain why there is such a wide array of dessert wine out there, from light, bright, and crisp to huge, intensely aromatic and rich. Whether you are having a slice of pie, a cheese plate, or nothing at all, there is a dessert wine for you. Today, I brought a Passito di Rebozo, which might not be easy to find, but let me know if you did, and tell me what you are drinking in the comments. As usual, I brought some scent notes common to this style of wine, including raisins and jam, all to help you train your nose. All right, dessert wine is sweet, plain and simple, but that doesn't mean it can't be crisp and refreshing or high in alcohol. In fact, some wines have alcohol added to them to stop fermentation and extend their shelf life. These are called fortified wines, and we'll talk about them in the next episode, day 20, so stay tuned. And just a reminder, it's not too late to enroll, the link is down below, and subscribe to this channel. That way you get a heads up on what we're drinking, what we're smelling, and what we're talking about. There are a number of ways to make sweet wine, and some of them may surprise you. You can add sugar or a combination of sugar and wine back in at the end of the process, as they do in champagne and champagne-style sparkling wines. This little trick is called liqueur d'expédition. We talked about sparkling wines on day 5, so definitely check it out if you need a refresher. The link is in the description. Some examples of sweet sparkling wines include Vouvray, Spumante d'Asti, which is made from Moscato, and demi-sec champagne, along with a whole host of others, ranging from crisp and semi-sweet to rich, aromatic, and very sweet. You can also make sweet, still wines. These are often lower in alcohol. In this case, the winemaker simply stops fermentation early. Remember, in basic science, the less alcohol, the more sugar. So, how does the winemaker stop fermentation? By lowering the temperature. Yeast likes it hot, just like me. So when you lower the temperature, fermentation stops, and you are left with more sugar and less alcohol. Dessert wines made in this way are available everywhere. You can order them or shop for them by asking for a semi-sweet or a demi-sec version of Viognier or Riesling and even some red wines. The USA produces a ton of dessert wines. In fact, in my home state of Missouri, where we're shooting these videos, they produce a lot of semi-sweet white wines in line with their German heritage. In fact, Seyval, Vignol, and Vidal all come in sweet and off-dry versions. Dessert wines are sweet, but depending on multiple factors like the type and ripeness of the grape and the climate where it was grown, they can still possess a lot of acidity for balance on the palate so as not to overwhelm you with sugar. Just imagine a nice, cold, juicy slice of pineapple. Sure, it's sweet, but it's also tart at the same time. Moving up the sugar ladder, there are also a number of dessert winemaking techniques that utilize the power of nature. Take, for example, late harvest wines. These are made with grapes that remain on the vines long after the initial harvest until they are super ripe and oozing with sugar. The grapes used for late harvest wines are naturally sweeter, and there's a great concentration of aroma and flavor in the skins. Literally, try eating a raisin. I'm not gonna do it on camera, but I brought them because the raisin notes are pervasive in dessert wines. In fact, this wine it's screaming raisin. Ice wines are made with frozen and very aromatic grapes. These wines are incredibly hard to find because they are very rare. They can only be made when the vineyard freezes right at peak harvest season. The grapes for ice wine are picked and crushed immediately to maintain maximum aroma and crispness. These wines usually come from colder climate places like Germany, Austria, and Canada, but the United States is starting to experiment with them in places like Michigan, Ohio, and even Wisconsin. If the timing is right and the grapes survive the frost, a good winemaker will know exactly what to do. Straw wines, like the Passito I brought today, are made in a number of different techniques. In this case, the grapes are harvested and then dried, oftentimes in crates or on straw mats in drafty rooms until they are almost raisins. These wines are called Passito or Passiti, the plural in Italian, Vin de Paille in French, or Strohwein in German. They have intense aromas of dried fruit because, obviously, they're made from dried fruit. They also have a rich, satiny quality on the palate due to all that viscosity from the sugar. The Passito I brought today comes from Veneto in northeastern Italy. It's made from the red Raboso grape. It's dried for about 4 months and then aged for 2 years in oak barrels. This wine has intense aromas of dried fruit, especially raisins, as well as some sweet tobacco and a hint of vanilla. It's also made with this thick-skinned red grape, Raboso, and that comes through on the palate in the form of acidity and tannins, as well as some tannin from the oak barrel aging. This combination gives the wine a beautiful combination of sweet and tart. It's really perfectly balanced. And then there is the noble rot. Doesn't that sound appetizing? Would you believe the world's most expensive white wine is in this category? According to the Guinness Book of World Records, a bottle of Chateau d'Yquem 1811 Sauternes sold for over $100,000. Sauternes is one example of wine made from grapes affected by the noble rot. A lot can go wrong in the vineyard, from humid growing conditions to tight little grape clusters. This is the perfect place for mold to grow. Growers do everything in their power to prevent this, but there is one exception, Botrytis cinerea. It looks disgusting, but it imparts a unique spicy fruitiness to the wine. Sauternes, the wine I mentioned earlier, is made from Sémillon and Sauvignon Blanc grapes grown in the Bordeaux region of France. They refer to it as drinking sunshine in a glass for its beautiful deep golden yellow color, amazing aromas of honeysuckle, and this piquant, almost ginger-like quality. Sauternes is sweet and utterly bursting with crispness, just like this guy. My sweet tooth is really tingling, but more than anything, I'm dying for a cheese plate. You know, some of the world's best food and wine pairings are cheese and dessert wine. We will talk more about that on our final episode, Day 21, so stay tuned. It's never too late to subscribe, then you can follow along with what we're drinking, what we're tasting, and what we're talking about, and get all the class notes. I will see you next time when we really turn up the volume. Alcohol by volume, that is. Day 20 is all about fortified wines. See you then.